to it. I see, are we just wasting our time? This appears to me as a colossal waste of time. I'm also concerned, and I got calls too, and Ken, I want to make sure, I don't agree, personally knowing you as a person, I don't think so, but for a lot of the people in the city, there's deep suspiciousness that we've delayed this so that we can get past the election. So I'm concerned with this whole thing. I'm concerned with the sense that people are getting that the game ain't being played right. And I'm concerned also with what are we bargaining for? If the person is developing the land, how can we trade for the land? I mean, I don't understand it. Ken, what do you think? How can we trade for land that they're developing? They've had an engineer, they've submitted plans and everything for both pieces of property that we are talking about not purchasing, trading for. So why would we continue to bargain? And the final point I want to make is I have been told that the person who we're bargaining with or trading with or negotiating with has threatened to sue us. Is it wise to continue to deal with someone that's threatening to sue you? Do you get deeper in trouble? Do you weaken your position with every bargaining session? So I'm just, could you please explain to me what I'm to tell the citizens about this?
Okay. When the RFP was put out, okay, Mr. LaCour did tell the council at that time he was going to be submitting a development proposal. And there are two different processes. As the property owner, he has the legal right to do that. When he responded to the RFP, he indicated that all of the land was subject to negotiations. And so you authorized the city attorney to draft the contract, which she has done. And I'll let her get into that discussion. But so that contract is done. Okay, there is the process that is coming forward still has to go through the Planning Commission, still has to come through the City Council. So it is not a done deal as it relates to the development of the property. Now, he has proposed to open the marina. He has proposed to open the restaurant. He has proposed to do a harbor master facility and for parking. Okay, but those are his proposals, and which still have to go through our review. And I'm talking about council review. So the current zoning on portions of that property, okay, I'm trying to recall, is for, let's see, okay, Wayne, help me out just a little bit. I know on the point it's conservation, and on the marina it's marina, but it is also it's got designations for a portion of the land to be for the park open space, as I recall. So, so the water portion actually shows some type of designation thought process that it would be a marina. It says public marina.
What says that?
Okay, if you go out and look at the star on the item, and in the, as I recall, in the CRA plan, it has that discussion about the public marina.
It says a public, not a private.
Okay, it says public marina. It does, and so that's going to be part of the discussion I think the council is going to be having to have as that moves forward.
Shouldn't we suspend any negotiations on land till we decide what's going to happen? How can we trade property? Now, is the developer attempting to increase the value of his property by putting plans out so that we have to pay more? Although I think you, in your document, as I read it, you suggested that we weren't going to pay more for plans.
The values are established as of May 1, 2012, which was commensurate with the receipt of the response.
To be honest, this just doesn't pass the taste test. I cannot figure out what's going on here. It's very unusual. And what about this is a question for the city attorney. Should we be bargaining with someone that's threatening to sue us?
Legally, you can do so.
Legally, you can do so, but in fact, by entertaining things, we may make our situation worse. Is that possible?
It's very hard to predict how good or how bad things can get. They turn this and that depending on the people involved, depending on the issues involved. So that's very hard to predict. When you say, is it a waste of time, I think the phrase would be, it's time consuming. There has been no delay as a result of the election. It has been in my office, and in June I requested additional information with regard to the submerged lands. I did receive that last week. So sometimes it takes a little longer than everyone anticipates, but that was information that was provided to us, and we were able to wrap that contract up quickly once we had the information needed to input that into the contract document. The developer is moving at his own risk. He has no guarantee that his proposed development request will be approved by the city council. So if he wants to spend money on an engineer proposing to change your land development code and proposing a site plan, he has every right to spend his money that way. But there's no guarantee that he walks away with an approval. Now, he does currently have ownership interests in a previously developed marina. So he can seek to continue that marina and not sell to the city, but that's a choice he makes in how he responds to our RFP. The RFP has been fashioned consistent, the contract has been fashioned consistent with the RFP. In other words, we are meeting our obligation when we put that RFP out there. However, if we receive counter proposals back, then you're free to counter proposal as you deem appropriate. One of those areas you may deem appropriate is the park plan that you have reviewed and considered.
And we do have an existing park plan, but I just urge my fellow council people, shouldn't we take a step back right now and start to talk about what type of park we're going to provide? At least, and I would like to hear your statements on it. I want to say that I'm committed for providing a riverfront park to the citizens of Port Orange. I think we've spent probably, some people have told me they estimate approximately 20 million we've spent already, and nothing has occurred. I think at least we should give the people a decent riverfront park. And more importantly, I think the park will be the catalyst to really make that a desirable area to invest in. So I think we're walking backwards as the park begins to unravel with development and the key components of the park. I really think negotiations, I don't know where we're going to go with negotiations with development, and I also am cognizant of the Burt Harris Act, so we got some legal problems too. So I just asked the council, I'd like to find out what my colleagues think and where they stand on it, because I frankly am absolutely at a loss as to what we're doing and where we're going.
Don, I'll come back to you, Ben.
Getting back to the main issue as far as an extension of time, I don't have a problem with that. I really want to know where we're at in the negotiation. I don't mind granting an extension of time, but I still don't have a good feel of where exactly we're at.
This contract sets forth the terms that the City of Port Orange and the CRA would be willing to sign